Bobby in the new offensive coordinator role? And what kind of how different is he? What's he kind of like as a coach and whatnot?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, from the start, it's been just a holistic approach, and he does a great job of just kind of always bringing us back to that. And he's a great man. So for me, it's more than just football with him. It's life lessons and stuff like that. So it's been amazing.
Paul mentioned the word consistency on a few occasions when he was talking about you and what he wanted to see improved. What gives you confidence you'll be more consistent this year than maybe even the last couple seasons?
To me, you ask that question, it comes down to just the work that I put in. That gives you genuine confidence in the process of the off-season. And for me, that's where my work's been consistency the whole year. That's
Big Ten Media Days, we're talking about maybe watching film a little differently. How have you been doing that?
I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, but for me, it's just really making the most out of my time and truly having purpose behind, like, why am I watching this? And am I really getting everything I want out of it? And big picture, I'd say that's the biggest change, is to just being more efficient with what I'm watching and why I'm watching it. And that's how it is.
Graham, I heard you talking last week a little bit about using virtual reality in the offseason. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I wouldn't say virtual reality. I'd say just a different way to watch tape. I mean, we had a camera behind us during spring ball, just up a little bit. So for me, it's from my point of view. So it's a poor man's version of virtual reality, but it works.
You lose so many of the receivers from last year. The defense is always good every year, but it's replacing a lot of guys. Do you feel a little responsibility you need to take it up a notch because of what's going on elsewhere?
100%. I mean, in total, it just comes down to doing your job. And for me, how can I do my job better to free those guys up to go play free? And we got young guys, but I mean, they're hungry, they're ready to rock. And that's the fun part for me. I mean, it's my job to make sure they're ready to go, and I take full responsibility for that.
It's like Christmas in August for you.
It's always Christmas, man. When I'm around my boys playing football, it feels like Christmas. But right now, it's especially exciting.
What are you looking forward to the most?
Just playing, man. Strapping it up and just going and playing with my brothers.
Graham, you've always, been about more off the field for you too, like bettering yourself off the field. Anything else this off season that you've done or that you feel differently heading into this season?
I try to find a little more balance. Played a lot of golf. That was one thing that I enjoyed a ton, just because it's fun to go golf with the boys. But just kind of like the mental aspect of it. It's you versus you out there. You hit a good shot, how do you respond? You hit a bad shot, how do you respond? I had a lot of fun doing golf.
I mean, there was obviously a lot of hoopla ever since you signed here because of your recruiting ranking, then the way your career started with the performance against Illinois. How difficult has it been kind of dealing with those expectations and dealing with the criticism when you don't necessarily meet those?
I wouldn't say it's really difficult. I mean, it's a part of your job, and you get the good, you get the bad. It's really just how you roll with it, and that's how you learn through your process and grow as a man. Is like when adversity hits, well, how do I respond? And when good things happen, how do I respond? And for me, you go through all that and you learn a lot about yourself. And for me, you asked that question, I just had like a moment of reflection of like all the things I've learned through it. And if you have that open mind of everything's necessary to get to where you're at, and you can never get too high, never get too low.
How do you feel you did deal with it last year? Obviously, 1-3, it was kind of low, and you were able to.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about a brotherhood is when you get in a spot like that and backs against the wall, you have that build-up level of accountability with your boys that. All right, we're gonna get it right. We need to get it right. Like, there's no one else outside that can get it right with an article. It's us. And for me, it's when you can fall back on your brothers like that. It's true brotherhood, true love.
You mentioned some of the newer guys. Have you seen Chimray take that #1 spot? Is he that guy in that wide receiving corps right now?
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of guys in that room. Obviously, Chim is the most experienced, and we got a bunch of dogs in that room. We're ready to go.
Besides Camp Randall, what place in Madison do you love the most?
Besides Camp Randall? Shoot, that's a hard question.
I got the hard ones.
Yeah, you're rolling with them. Honestly, I'd probably say you, Rich. It's a little getaway. But that's more off-season. During the season, I mean, I spend all my time with my favorite place.
And I'm a big hair guy. What are you doing with your hair? Are you kind of growing it out?
Okay, everybody, you want to zoom over to that guy right there, Joe Tippett, my roommate. That's who stemmed this whole mullet thing.
Are you going to go like full mullet shave?
It's up in the air. We'll see.
Day one, I can't wait.
It's more for camp, more for the guys. So I don't really know what's going on with it, but we'll roll with it.
When was the last time it was cut?
Oh gosh, I mean, I've got it just cleaned up because
you did.
My hair just grows like a haystack.
Okay.
Shout out to my dad. But for me, I got it just cleaned up a couple days ago.
Were you thankful for that when you were older?